Howdy, hi. This is Dear Job Sports WNBA picks and predictions for Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. We are looking at the only game of the day. Let's get into the video. All right. So, as you can probably see by the very crowded basketball screen, we had a big day. Not in terms of like actual wins and losses. I went 7-8, bringing an overall record to 72-71. But most of this video is going to be me complaining about multiple teams, namely being the Aces, a little bit about multiple player props all missing, and then we'll talk about the Sparks and how they're just totally screwed for the rest of the season. We do have some changes to the banned list. Now, I had to take off one photo of Arike Agumbawale, not because she played well, but Becky Hammon deserves to be on this list. She's the coach of the Las Vegas Aces. What I might do for the next episode is simply slide the ban list over. The ban list might eventually take up the entire bottom part of this screen. But for now, we're going to keep it as is. We'll see what happens. If more people need to be added, we simply expand. But I'm going to recap these games right quick. Then we'll get on to the picks for tomorrow. All right, so normally I would go through all the winners first and then go through the losers, but I think today we're going to go game by game, just because pretty interesting day in the WNBA. First game, it was the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever. We had two bets. We had the Connecticut Sun plus the 18.5, which won. We then had the over 165.5, which lost. If you want to see a WNBA fight, and this was actually good. Normally a WNBA like scrap isn't very good. Marina Mabrey absolutely clocked Caitlin Clark body check. She had no idea it was coming. And then to make up for it, who was it? I think it was Sophie Cunningham had a really hard foul on JC Sheldon because she poked Caitlin in the eye, which started the whole Marina Mabrey shove Caitlin to the ground thing. Either way, final score of this game, 88-71. I strongly recommend you go back and watch the highlights because the fights were good. The Connecticut Sun are horrible. They played this game tight. They lost the offensive rebound battle by 1, lost the turnover battle by 2. They just can't shoot the basketball. They went 3 of 21 from deep. If they just go 5 of 21, actually no, if they go 7 of 21, you give them 12 more points. This is a 5-point ball game. Unfortunately, they did not. They still cover quite easily. Well, not really. They covered by 1.5, but Marina Mabrey, 2 of 9 from the field, 0 of 6 from deep. JC Sheldon, 0 of 2. Bria Hartley, 0 of 2. Haley Peters, 0 of 3. Like, holy shit, can anyone make a shot from deep? And the answer is no. This team sucks, but they cover, so thank you. Next game, Atlanta Dream, New York Liberty. Dude, the Dream should have won this game straight up. The largest lead of the game for the Dream was 17. 17-point lead. Largest lead of the game for the Liberty, 5, which is what the closing score was. New York Liberty, 86. Dream, 81. The Dream lost the final quarter, 13-26. We do win both of our bets, though. So we took them on the spread, plus 8.5. That was never a doubt. The over 164.5. It was a doubt for a little bit because Atlanta only scored 13th in the fourth quarter. But we will then go on to the player prop. Alicia Gray. We had her for points, rebounds, and assists over 25.5. She finished on 24. She had 3 PRA in the entirety of the fourth quarter. She didn't do a damn thing. But to be fair, her team really didn't do a damn thing. Ryan Howard, 4 turnovers. Jordan Canada, 3 turnovers. Bree Jones, 2 turnovers. Nobody could make a shot in the fourth quarter, nor did they play any defense and get any rebounds. So overall, in the Dream game, we go 2-1, hitting both spreads, losing the player prop on Alicia Gray. Next game we're going to take a look at, it was the Mystics in the Sky. Now, I have this little notebook I keep track of all of our games in, and I originally wrote this down as a loss when I saw the Mystics were down 15 points in the first quarter. But then I had to erase it because I was like, no, no, no. It is the Sky. They're on the ban list for a reason. They're going to lose this game. Lose this game they did. Mystics, 79. Chicago Sky, 72. They scored 26 points in the first quarter. The next three, they score 18, 12, and 16. That is egregious. They shoot 49% from the field, 30% from deep. They lose the battle at the free throw line. They lose the offensive rebound battle. They flashed an interesting stat on the screen. The Chicago Sky are the worst defensive rebounding team in the WNBA. You hear all this talk about how good Reese and Cardoso are on the offensive boards. Defensively, they can't rebound the ball for shit. They can't do a damn thing. This team is horrible. There's a reason the Sky are on the ban list. They're awful. The Mystics, shout out to Brittany Sykes, 32 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. Kiki Irfan really didn't do anything. She went 3 of 8 from the field, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Sonia Citron almost had a double-double, 13 points, 9 boards, 3 assists. Shout out to the Mystics coach who finally took Stephanie Dolson out of the starting lineup. She did not start Aaliyah Edwards. Starting lineup was with Shakira Austin, who actually played pretty well. 27 minutes, almost a double-double. She put up 9 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists on 4 of 8 shooting with 4 blocks. 4 of them. Stephanie Dolson definitely doing that. So shout out to the Mystics, switching around the starting lineup. I definitely like it more without Stephanie Dolson. Next game we're going to look at. This is the one I'm going to complain the most about. Las Vegas Aces, Minnesota Lynx. What in the flying fuck was this basketball game? The Aces had a 9-point halftime lead. 9. Now, normally, under average circumstances, you would think 100% of the time, if a team is up 9 at halftime, they can cover getting 12.5 points. Up 9, you're plus 12.5. You don't hit that. That's already absurd. You add on to the fact that Nafisa Collier gets injured and she doesn't play the second half of the game. You lost the second half by a score of 46-23, and the Lynx didn't have Nafisa Collier. You let Courtney Williams drop 24 and 6. Natasha Heidemann off the bench, 12, 6, and 3. You had Diamond Miller off the bench, 12, 2, and 1. You let Alana Smith go for a double-double. What in the fuck are you doing, Las Vegas? 9-point halftime lead. And that is the reason why Becky Hammond is on the ban list. Normally, if all of your players play bad, it's more than a player problem. It's a coaching problem. Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young. They went 3 of 13, 2 of 9, 4 of 12. They're not that bad of players. This has to be a coaching issue. I don't know what the hell is going on because they've played on this team for a while besides Jewel Lloyd. This whole team has been together for a decent amount of time. I don't know what's going on, but Becky Hammond has to be on the ban list. We also lost Chelsea Gray. Points, rebounds, assists. I think it was 22.5. Yeah, 22.5. This was the one that really wasn't that close as she went 9 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 of 9 from the field, 0 of 4 from deep with 3 turnovers. Not a good day for anybody on this Aces team. I don't know how this didn't hit. Up 9 at halftime. The other team loses their best player, and you lose the game by 14. Good Lord. Next game, it was the Dallas Wings in the Golden State Valkyries. We had 3 bets. We had the Valkyries plus 3.5. That was no good as they lose the game 71-80. We had the under 162.5. That was good as that hits again 80-71. Then we had the worst beat of the day. Kayla Thornton. Actually, I don't know what was worse, the Aces or Kayla Thornton's PR not hitting by half a point. We had Thornton PR over 22.5. She went into the fourth quarter at 22 total. She had 17 points and 5 rebounds. She did not score a single point or get a single rebound in the entire fourth quarter. The entirety of it. How in the fuck do you do that? You play 35 minutes of the game. You get 22 PR in the first 3 quarters, and then you get 0 when you play the entire fourth quarter. I don't know how that happens. Then final game, Seattle Storm, and then you have the Sparks. We got to have a serious conversation about what the Sparks are doing as an organization. You signed 2 players to end-of-season hardship contracts, and they're both horrible. Shea Petty got signed. This morning, I saw a headline that said, the Sparks signed a former Indiana Fever to a hardship contract. Immediately, my brain goes, Ari McDonald was just on the Fever. She played for a hardship contract. Surely, it's McDonald. Wrong. It's Grace Berger. Why the fuck are you signing Grace Berger instead of Ari McDonald? Grace Berger today, 16 minutes, 0 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 0 of 4 from the field with 3 turnovers. Real good job. Congratulations, Sparks. You are going to be dog shit for a while. Kelsey Plum, after this season, she is going to leave. Hopefully go, Storm, Valkyries, some other team, anywhere else. But we win the over, 162.5. We lose the +7. Final score of the game, 98-67. The Sparks suck. All right, that's the recap. That took a while. Let's get on to the one game for tomorrow. All right, so the only game we have today, it's the Mercury and the Sun. Kind of unfortunate for the Connecticut Sun. You lose in relatively rough fashion by 17 points at Indiana. You then have to go straight home and play against your former teammate in Alyssa Thomas. So, like I said, brutal scheduling here. I don't know why the WNBA does this, but it's going to be rough for Connecticut either way. The Mercury, they're playing good basketball. Back to full strength. Alyssa Thomas back in swing. Kalia Copper back in swing. This should be a belt-to-ass kind of moment. Phoenix, 8-4 on the year, riding a 2-game win streak. They've won both games since Alyssa Thomas has returned. And then Copper came back 1 game later. They look really, really good with both of them in. Their defense is ranked 4th in the WNBA overall, and that was with missing Alyssa Thomas for like 4 or 5 games. So with her back in the lineup, your defense is only going to improve. They're going to be getting better with every single game they play, growing chemistry between Sabally, AT, and Kalia Copper. They should be able to drop a bajillion points. Also, this is Alyssa Thomas's first game back in Connecticut after she played with them for a few seasons, getting to multiple deep playoff runs, but never able to win. So Alyssa Thomas should be ready to lay belt to ass. The Sun, like I said, back-to-back, they just kind of lost to the Fever by a decent amount. The only interesting thing to note here, like I said, there was a few fights in that Fever game. Marina Mabry might be suspended from this game. Like, surely the WNBA is going to look at that. She absolutely fucking clocked Caitlin Clark. Like, straight from behind, elbow to the back of the neck, absolutely rocked a bitch. So, she might not play. I would not be surprised if she gets suspended. But also, who knows? It's WNBA. I don't really think anyone cares. Either way, Mercury, -$1 million. You couldn't make this line large enough. That being said, player props. The player props are currently not out, but I will be taking, if she plays, Marina Mabry, PRA, over. It's her first game back up against Alyssa Thomas. They're friends. She should ball. The previous night, she did shit. She played awful in Indiana. I like this as a bounce-back spot. She's a flamethrower. She's either going to do really well or really bad. And there's no real in-between. And then finally, we have Alyssa Thomas. I'm also taking her PRA over. First game back in Connecticut, going up against her old team. Even though technically the team is basically completely different, the only 2 people who were on there last year was Nelson Adota and then Marina Mabry. So, same building though. Again, give me her over. gave me Marina Mabrey PRA, and that's it. I don't know why the WNBA schedules 6 games on one day and 1 the next, but here we are. So I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.